This is the DOMANKI 14,000 British Thermal Units portable air conditioner. It turned my stuffy living room into a comfortable space in about half an hour, and at night it stays quiet enough that I actually forget it is on. I think of this as the flexible, move it where you need it, kind of cooling. If you rent, if you cannot install a window unit, or if you just want to target one large space without running central air all day, this lands in a sweet spot. I have used it in a big living room and in a home office, and it handled both without drama. It is powerful enough to cover up to around 700 square feet, which puts it in the territory of a serious window unit, but it does not require any permanent changes to your home. Design is simple and practical in the ways that matter. The body is a crisp white with rounded corners, and it stands around 27 inches tall. It feels solid. It weighs roughly 65 pounds, which is not light, but the built-in wheels and the tucked-away handle on the side make a big difference. I can roll it from the living room to the office by myself without feeling like I am wrestling a piece of furniture. The digital display on the front is bright and easy to read from across the room, so I can check the temperature or mode at a glance. There is a remote in the box that mirrors the controls on the unit. The buttons are straightforward and the layout is clear. I do wish the remote had a backlight for late-night adjustments, but functionally it is spot on. Setup was easier than I expected. Everything I needed was in the box. The exhaust hose, the adapters, the adjustable window panel, the remote, and the manual. I have sliding windows, and the panel adjusted to fit without any tools. I clicked the hose into the back of the unit, locked the other end into the panel, set the panel in the track, and sealed the small gaps with the included foam. That took me under 30 minutes the first time, going slowly and checking the manual once to make sure I had the hose oriented correctly. If you have standard vertical or horizontal sliders, you are in good shape. If your windows are unusual, you might need a little creativity or an alternate panel, but the included kit covers most common setups. Once it was vented, I plugged it in, powered it on, set my target temperature, and felt a cool stream of air within seconds. Day-to-day use feels simple and reliable. The controls respond right away. The auto swing feature spreads the cool air around the room so you do not end up freezing in one spot while the rest of the space lags behind. There are 4 fan speeds that actually feel distinct, from a gentle low for quiet hours to a strong blast when I come home to a warm room. The sleep mode is the one I use at night. It settles the fan at a lower speed, trims the noise down to about 48 decibels, and lets the temperature drift slightly so it does not cycle harshly and wake me up. I am a light sleeper, and I have been able to keep it on through the night without losing sleep. Cooling performance is where this unit earns its keep. The 14,000 British Thermal Units rating matters because it translates to real capacity. In my open living room, which is close to the claimed coverage, I started at a warm, humid mid-afternoon. Within about 20 to 30 minutes, the muggy feeling was gone and the room was comfortable. Within an hour, it felt genuinely cool without needing to run the fan at the highest setting. The airflow is focused but wide enough to reach the seating area and the kitchen entry without constantly adjusting the louvers. I keep the auto swing on and point the vents slightly upward, which helps mix the air and avoid cold ankles. Humidity control is better than I expected from a portable unit. On sticky days, I switch to dehumidifier mode for a while and then back to cooling, and the difference is dramatic. The air feels lighter, and that heavy, damp feeling disappears. Most of the time, I have not had to manually drain anything. The unit itself evaporates the collected moisture as it runs. During a long, rainy stretch when the air was loaded with moisture, I checked the manual drain plug, released some water, and got right back to it. It took a couple of minutes and did not create a mess. Noise is always a big question with portable air conditioners. On the highest setting, this one sounds like a strong fan paired with a compressor. It is not whisper quiet, but it is not harsh either. It is a smooth hum. On low or in sleep mode, it fades into the background. I can take calls in the same room, and I have recorded voiceovers with it running on low without needing to redo them. If you want total silence, no portable air conditioner is going to deliver that, but this strikes a good balance between airflow and noise. Energy use has been reasonable. The unit draws roughly 1,300 watts when it is working hard. The more efficient compressor and the refrigerant labeled R32 help it hold the set temperature without constantly spiking power. I use the 24-hour timer to shut it off after I fall asleep or to start cooling before I get home, and that simple scheduling keeps it from running longer than it needs to. Compared to two other portables I tried last year, this one has kept my electric bill steady while delivering stronger cooling. I put it through a few real scenarios. One was a midday heat wave with direct sun on the living room windows. I closed the blinds, set the target temperature a few degrees cooler than the room, and let it go. 15 minutes in, the sticky feeling eased up. At 30 minutes, the room was comfortable. At an hour, it was at my preferred temperature without any hot pockets lingering around the corners. Another was a humid cooking session. After making dinner, the kitchen and living room felt stuffy, so I pointed the louvers toward the kitchen and ran medium fan. It cleared the heat and the smells faster than my range hood could. On a rainy week, I used dehumidifier mode in the mornings, and that set a good baseline for the rest of the day. For sleep, I rolled it into the bedroom on a particularly warm night. I set sleep mode, angled the vents upward, and let auto swing do the rest. The temperature stayed even, the fan never surged, and I slept through without waking up from noise or cold bursts of air. I did notice that the exhaust hose radiates some warmth, which is normal for portable units. If your room is very small, you can feel that warmth near the hose, though the overall cooling still wins out. An insulated sleeve for the hose helps, but even without one, it did not undermine the performance in my use. There are small touches that make a difference. The child lock is a useful safety net if you have kids who like to press buttons. The filters are easy to slide out and wash, which keeps airflow strong and the air cleaner. Maintenance takes a couple of minutes. The display is readable during the day without being blinding at night. The power cord is a sensible length for reaching a nearby outlet. But, like any portable unit, you will want it fairly close to a window because venting is non-negotiable. I like that the remote mirrors the unit controls so there is no learning curve. I do wish the window panel felt a bit more rigid, as it can flex slightly if you move it around a lot, but once it is in place, it seals well and stays put. A very specific use case that sold me on it was my work-from-home setup. I often take video calls in the afternoon when the sun is strongest. With the DOMANKI running at a medium fan speed and the auto swing on, my office stays steady at the temperature I set, and the noise is low enough that it does not bleed into meetings. I can bump the fan for a quick cool down right before a call, then drop it back to low while I am on camera. No hot spots, no sweaty back, no sudden compressor roar halfway through a sentence. Living with it for a few weeks has convinced me that this is a strong fit for a few kinds of people. If you have a larger room that gets uncomfortably warm, but you do not want to deal with a permanent window install, it brings room-sized cooling with true flexibility. If you are in an apartment with rules against window units, the included kit and the easy setup are friendly to renters. If you need a backup when central air struggles or goes down, it can keep a main living space comfortable until the larger system is back online. Just keep two things in mind. It is not fun to haul up and down stairs because of the weight, even with the wheels, and it needs a nearby window for venting. If your only windows are fixed panes or non-standard shapes, you may need an alternate venting solution. Overall, the DOMANKI 14,000 British Thermal Units portable air conditioner has been a reliable, straightforward performer for me. It cools quickly, manages humidity well, and stays quiet enough at night. The setup is simple. The controls make sense. The small quality of life features like the timer, auto swing, sleep mode, and washable filters add up to a smoother experience. It is not silent on the highest setting, and it is not feather light, but those trade-offs are reasonable for the amount of cooling you get and the convenience of rolling it where you need it. If this sounds like the kind of cooling you need for a larger room, I think it is worth a look. I will leave more detailed notes and my window setup tips in the comments. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel and drop your questions or your own experiences in the comments. Thank you for watching.